Why is right-wing comedy so terrible? It's a question we've been asking for a long time. I have some thoughts. I have some principles, some guideposts that I believe will be illuminating as to why right-wing comedy is just so crappy. But in order to remind ourselves what we're talking about, this is tough to watch. I have a video from Mike Flynn's QAnon crypto fascist rally in North Carolina. This is, quote, comedian. I use that term so loosely. Quote, comedian Jim Breuer. He's doing an impression of Kamala Harris. If you're watching, you will see that there are people in hysterics in the crowd. Incredibly sheltered people, I have to imagine. This will be our jumping off point to resume this. I find it a very interesting question culturally and sociologically. Why is right-wing comedy, so-called comedy, so damn bad? And Jim Breuer, if you're ever looking for an answer to that question, a good place to start is with Jim Breuer. Here is comedy from Jim Breuer, right-wing comedian.
So the Fox guy goes, 70% of America says we're heading in the wrong direction. And what do you have to say to those 70% of Americans? And Donald Trump's been running.
Isn't this funny? People in the crowd are close to a medical emergency from how hard they're laughing. How sheltered do you have to be to find this funny?
Her handlers are coming out. You don't think China was watching that going, oh my gosh, she's so funny? She answered no question, so funny.
Okay, so why is right-wing comedy so terrible? I have a few ideas. First of all, as you can see, the timing is it's completely bizarre. Even if you wanted to do a sort of kind of physical comedy type bit of this kind where you're hopping around and you're popping your mic and you're acting as though you are having some kind of medical emergency, the timing is completely off. And very often you will find that right-wing comedy, the timing is whacked. Like this thing is either way too long or it just the timing doesn't make any sense. Secondly, there's an overuse of outrage, even when it doesn't make any sense. You know, one of the funny things about real comedians is that they will often poke fun at a situation where we actually should be outraged. We're busy living our lives, so we may not be outraged. It may be something from everyday life or whatever, right? But they're using outrage in a way that is appropriate. What are they even out? They're all, Jim Breuer's is outraged at how Kamala Harris dares to answer questions. But like, what's the outrage? She gave a fine interview. Third, there's no moment where they subvert expectations. One of the things that makes comedy sometimes funny when real comedians do it is that it's going in a certain direction. And then you turn all of a sudden, you make a 180, and part of the punchline or part of what's funny is that it's going against your expectations. With this stuff, we know what you're going to do. You'll come up with you'll mock someone's accent, like he was mocking an Asian accent there at the end. It's all completely expected. So the payoff never has any, oh, that was actually sort of clever. And then the other aspect to this is that there's often a punching down. The targets end up being marginalized groups, weak groups, whatever, and it lacks all interest and nuance and ends up just kind of relying on stereotypes. Now, left-wing comedians will also play off of stereotypes. I just watched a couple comedy shows with some friends over the weekend where you're using stereotypes still, but you're not doing it in a way that feels like you're punching down. And everything about Jim Breuer is just so unfunny. So I think these are a few of the reasons why right-wing comedy is so damn bad. And it's almost like a feedback loop because you put this totally unfunny stuff in front of people who I guess are really sheltered, or they're looking for someone to reinforce that they have the right political views by finding something funny about it. And so they go crazy laughing, which makes the comedian think, man, this crap is really working. And so they keep doing more of the hopping around and, hitting the mic like he's an idiot. This is really bad stuff. And if you have more as to the mechanics of why it's so bad, I would love to hear from you. info@davidpakman.com. We'll take a very short break and then we continue. Did you know that countless commercial databases and people search sites are storing your personal information? Anyone from an employer to a former partner can use these platforms to get details about your online presence, your home address, phone number, email, license plate, family members, financial information, even political views. Europe has laws that offer some protection, but in the US, the data is widely accessible. Even the FBI will buy this information from companies to spy on people without a search warrant. Our sponsor, Incogni, provides a solution. It takes just seconds to sign up, and Incogni will send removal requests to all of the major data brokers, legally compelling them to get rid of your data. Incogni keeps you informed throughout the process. You'll get real-time updates, who has complied, which ones are still pending. They'll handle follow-ups, they'll handle appeals on your behalf, and this will save you hundreds of hours. Very few people have the time or resources to do this on their own. This service can also reduce the number of spam calls and emails you get, since many solicitors and scammers get your information from these very same sources. Go to incogni.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman for 60% off. The link is below.